The story revolves around a young hustler who stumbles upon a lucrative courier job, leading him to a world of currency trafficking. As he rises to the top of the corruption ladder, he soon learns that the pursuit of wealth comes at a cost. His journey underscores the old saying, money isn't everything, especially when it's tainted. Hey guys, welcome back to I Am Movies. Today we'll be looking at the 2024 Spanish crime thriller movie, titled The Courier. But before we jump into the details, be aware there are spoilers. Now let's get right into it. Ivan Marquez, an ambitious man in his 30s, leads a routine life as a valet at a luxurious golf club in Madrid. However, Ivan wants more out of life and is willing to do whatever it takes for a chance at a better life. His father once held a stable job that provided for their family, but Spain's recession in 1993 changed everything. His father lost his livelihood, leaving them destitute, and his father is embittered to this day. Determined not to share his father's frustration, Ivan constantly seeks opportunities to improve his situation. One day, Ivan offers to drive a heavily intoxicated guest to Brussels for 300 euros. However, during a gas stop, Ivan discovers the man fast asleep. Curiosity gets the better of him, prompting him to open the trunk and pick up the man's briefcase. Inside, he finds a significant amount of money. He takes some cash and pockets it without a second thought. Upon reaching the destination, the man enters a building with the briefcase but emerges shortly after without it, sparking Ivan's curiosity. After the man pays him and drives off, Ivan decides to enter the house. Inside the house, he meets a woman named Anne. Ivan paints a bad image of the man, claiming he could do a better job despite being unaware of the nature of their business. Ivan tells her that the man stole from them. She then leaves to verify the amount they received, discovering that some notes are missing. Anne returns with an unexpected offer for Ivan, a job as a courier, promising a hefty sum of $10,000 for each round trip. However, this isn't your typical courier gig. Anne and her husband, Francois, operate a secret money trafficking organization. They assist corrupt individuals, including businessmen and politicians, in moving stolen funds across borders through fake transactions. With allies nationwide facilitating their operations, each participant receives a 3% cut of the laundered sums. Ivan's first task is to deliver a horse to Francisco Escamez for his daughter's birthday. Escamez, a prominent figure in Marbella, is well connected and serves as a middleman for money trafficking between Belgium and Spain. He introduces himself to Ivan, emphasizing the importance of trust in their dealings before handing him a briefcase for Anne. On his way back, Ivan is stopped by two French police officers who subject him to questioning and a vehicle inspection. However, Ivan soon realizes that the officers work for the organization and are testing his loyalty, which he successfully passes. Upon his return, Anne rewards him with an envelope containing his pay. Earning $10,000 per trip feels like a dream come true for Ivan, who can already envision the life he has long desired. Anne and Ivan celebrate their partnership at a casino bar, where they bond effortlessly, enjoying each other's company like they've known each other for a long time. As the night progresses, their connection deepens, leading to an intimate moment. During one of his trips, Escamez catches Ivan conversing with Letitia. Sensing Ivan's interest in his daughter, Escamez warns him to steer clear of her and focus solely on his business. Upon his return, Ivan and Anne meet at a hotel restaurant. While there, they notice a couple conversing and laughing loudly. Ivan follows Anne to a meeting with her associate Stoffel. Ivan learns about their advanced laundering system, developed with the assistance of an IT specialist to evade suspicion. While at home, Ivan's mother calls urging him to visit home. Ivan claims to be swamped with work, promising to visit as soon as he gets a break. Suddenly, Ivan recognizes the man from the restaurant earlier discussing charitable home construction projects on TV, a common facade for politicians to channel illicit funds. Ivan identifies him as Luis Ocana. He learns he's a politician, and that the lady he saw him with is his mistress. Ivan's life has significantly turned around. He now enjoys a comfortable lifestyle. However, Ivan is not content with being merely a courier. He aspires to join the league of the 3% recipients, and having recognized his town's involvement in illicit money, he decides to exploit the situation. Ivan begins frequenting the hotel in hopes of encountering Ocana and his mistress. Finally seeing them one day leaving their room for dinner at the restaurant, Ivan seizes the opportunity to enter their room and install a camera. However, he is intercepted by Yannick, a hotel employee who has been monitoring him. Ivan patronizes Yannick with a bribe and offers to help him strategically place the camera in the room. This initiates a partnership between Ivan and Yannick. Sharing similar ideals with Ivan, Yannick is eager for any opportunity that promises more income than his job as a hotelier provides. Known as the king of the party in various clubs, Yannick is well connected and known in the neighborhood. Ivan's lament with Yannick sparks a phase of wild partying, drug indulgence, and revelry as they frequent clubs together night after night. The next day, Ivan and Yannick visit Ocana with a video of him and his mistress to persuade him Ivan informs Okana of his plan to establish a money trafficking branch in Marbella, seeking contacts to facilitate moving funds across states. Forced into a corner, Okana introduces Ivan to his cartel as his nephew. He arranges a meeting where Ivan pitches his proposal. The men are skeptical and express that they've not had issues dealing with Esquimaux. However, Okana vouches for Ivan's discretion and trustworthiness, eventually persuading them to collaborate. Ivan secures the first investment and returns to Brussels, impressing Anne with his ambitiousness. However, she worries about potential trouble from Esquimaux for poaching his clients, but even assures her he's got it under control. The next day, Ivan visits his parents, bringing along some gifts. When his ailing father asks about the nature of his job, Ivan vaguely mentions that he works as a courier, failing to elaborate further. His father expresses disappointment, leading to a heated argument. Ivan defends his job, asserting that as long as he doesn't end up miserable like his father, the nature of his work is insignificant. His outburst hurts his father's feelings, escalating the tension until his mother intervenes. Later, Ivan reconnects with his friends, exchanging warm greetings and catching up on their recent endeavors. They discuss their ventures, with Ivan's friends revealing their involvement in buying and renovating old properties for resale, much to Ivan's delight. Filled with enthusiasm and confidence, Ivan begins promoting their services to potential clients in Marbella, much to Esquimaux's chagrin. During a conversation with Letitia, Esquimaux interrupts them and confronts Ivan about poaching his clients. Despite Esquimaux's threats, Ivan walks away. On their way home, Ivan and Yannick are ambushed and assaulted by Esquimaux's men, prompting Ivan to return and reach a compromise with Esquimaux. Ivan asserts that he can't leave Marbella. However, he pledges to avoid targeting Esquimaux's clients. In exchange for each new client Ivan acquires, he agrees to give Esquimaux a 30% cut, a deal that Esquimaux finds acceptable. This agreement allows Ivan to conduct his deals without interference or creating enmity between him and Esquimaux. Ivan and Yannick run their businesses smoothly and are now swimming in an abundance of money, indulging themselves as they please. One day, after a wild night of partying, Anne finds Ivan wasted in his room. She warns him that his indiscretion poses a threat to their businesses, prompting Ivan to become defensive. Anne informs him that her husband has received a tip-off about an undercover investigation targeting money traffickers, advising him to be cautious. On their way to the Central Market party that night, Ivan notices a car trailing them, but Yannick dismisses his concerns, believing he's just paranoid from Anne's warning earlier that morning. Unbeknownst to them, the Financial and Fiscal Crimes Unit had been conducting surveillance on Esquimaux and Okana. When he arrived in Marbella, Ivan and everyone closely associated with the duo became suspects too. At the party, Okana warmly welcomes Ivan and introduces him to some important people. Ivan also meets Leticia at the party and asks her out, but she laughs it off, knowing her father's reaction. However, she gives him her phone number. Upon leaving the party, they spot the men who were trailing them earlier in the parking lot. Ivan approaches them and requests that they take him to their boss. They agree, and upon reaching the station, they meet with Inspector Roig, where Ivan demands to know why they're following them. Inspector Roig reveals that he has been investigating Esquimaux and Okana, and recently noticed they do business with the duo, which led to them following them. He offers them freedom if they can help him nail Esquimaux and Okana. Ivan feigns ignorance, claiming they're just couriers and do not know the details of what they transport. However, Inspector Roig informs them of the consequences they'll face if they ever get caught, urging them to give him the information he needs and go free. On their way out, Ivan considers the offer a good one, believing the business will become solely theirs once Esquimaux is behind bars. Yannick becomes paranoid at the thought of going to jail, but Ivan assures him he won't let it happen. Although it'll cost him a fortune, Ivan comes up with an idea for him and Yannick to go on vacation in separate countries of their choice. So when Esquimaux and Okana are arrested, they will have an excuse as to why they weren't arrested as well. On his way to the airport, he calls Letitia and invites her to join him on a trip to Paris, which she obliges without hesitation. While on board, Ivan and Letitia have the best of fun. Upon reaching Paris, Esquimaux calls Letitia, demanding she return to the country immediately. But she tells him that she's old enough to make decisions for herself, much to her father's shock. Ivan gives Letitia a ring, and she kisses him happily. They travel from one state to the next, having the best time of their lives. Not long after, Inspector Roig, based on the tips given to him by Ivan, uncovers the city planning corruption in the state. Many people went down for it, including Esquimaux and Okana, and hundreds of millions were seized. Seeing the news on TV, Letitia hurriedly packs her stuff and leaves for Madrid. After Esquimaux's arrest, Anne and Francois suggest laying low and allowing the storm to pass, but Ivan doesn't see the need. Instead, he views it as an opportunity to take over Esquimaux's clients. Francois considers Ivan too desperate and decides to leave him to his choices. Ivan and Yannick return to Madrid and continue living their lives as though nothing happened. One morning, Letitia visits him and finds him in bed with two women. She throws his ring at him and storms off. Just then his phone rings. It's his mom calling to inform him that his father has passed away. Ivan returns home, broke and filled with guilt for his absence before his father's death. Following the uncovering of corruption in city planning, a huge recession crashes the Spanish economy, leaving Ivan with no option but to remain in Madrid with his mom. While hanging out with his friends one night, Ivan notices some Chinese men making an exchange and decides to follow them to find out what they're up to. Just like the first time, he believes it might be a potential business opportunity. However, he's discovered by one of the men who broke his windscreen, warning him to keep off. Despite the warning, Ivan continues to follow them. Ivan decides to visit Okana in prison to share his recent findings, believing he may have answers. Okana reveals that the people he saw are working for Yao Ming, a money trafficking lord and importer. However, he uses the old-fashioned method of trafficking currency, and Okana believes that if Ivan offers him a better system, he'll buy it. Before he leaves, Okana tells Ivan not to forget him. Later, Ivan meets up with Anne in Geneva to discuss the Yao Ming matter. Anne tells him that it's risky to move money at that time. However, he has a good idea which he proposes to Yao Ming. Fortunately, Ivan is able to convince him and earn his trust, leaving them elated. Just like magic, Ivan is back in business and living the high life. Little did he know everything would soon come crashing down. One day, while having dinner with Anne, they're surprised to see Escamez walk into the restaurant. Escamez expresses his disappointment over Ivan's failure to visit him while he was in prison, and also condemns him for ratting him out. A few days later, Anne learns from a newspaper that Stoffel and Francois have leaked the entire list of their secret bank accounts bearing the names of their clients and ran off with all the money. Knowing they'll come for them, Anne and Ivan quickly pack their bags to leave town. As they drive off, the police chase after them, but luckily they outrun them. However, they're soon double-crossed and captured by Yao Ming's men. Yao reveals that the police are onto him, demanding to know what Ivan had told them, but Ivan tells him that he didn't say anything to them, and wouldn't say anything even if he were to be caught. Yao doesn't want to take the risk and orders his men to kill them, but Ivan makes him a deal. He reminds him that he still has his dirty money with him and will soon be uncovered by the police, so Ivan suggests he transport the money in a cargo alongside him. And even if he gets caught, he'll bear the consequences without mentioning names. After a successful delivery of the cash to Hong Kong and receiving his 3% cut, Ivan visits a club to party. However, the party abruptly ends when the Hong Kong police arrive in a helicopter, arrest him, and hand him over to the Financial and Fiscal Crimes Unit. Ivan tries to bribe Inspector Roig with €1,000,000 to improve his life, but the inspector scoffs at his ignorance. While being taken to the cell, Ivan spots Anne walking out of the station, much to his disappointment. It turns out that the Financial and Fiscal Crimes Unit had offered her freedom in exchange for revealing his location, and she chose freedom. While in prison, Ivan learns from the news that more corrupt public officials and money traffickers have been arrested, including Yao Ming and his enterprise. In the end, Ivan regrets his actions and learns the bitter lesson that money is a virus that is hard to cure once it infects you, especially dirty money. And this is where our story ends. If you'd like to see us recap any other movies or topics you have in mind, just drop a comment and let us know. And don't forget to hit the like button, share this recap, and subscribe to stay updated for the next one. Until next time.